welcome to this week's practice. We had bolsters last week because it was a new moon, and then we had another heat wave. So we've got bolsters for a second week in a row, which is always nice. No one ever complains about having too many bolsters, right? So before we go any further, for those of you that are at home or catching up, our setup is 2 blocks or similar, right at the top of your mat, standing on their long edge. So that's, what is that, about 4 inches. And then the bolster is just going to sit right on top. And it's pretty much going to stay in this position for the whole time. There will be a point where we lower the blocks down, and towards the end we'll roll the bolster in towards us. But other than that, it's one of those sweet practices where we don't have to do a whole lot of lugging around of props. We can just really rest into it. And actually the first place we are going to start is on our backs. So we're going to come and bring ourselves close to the bolster, sawing our legs over the top, and then come to lie down on the back. And then maybe here you just want to spread out the arms. If you're lying on a hard surface, maybe taking a moment to appreciate the coolness of the ground. As your body stops for possibly the first time today, start to let your breath slow down too. Breathing deep into the belly and exhaling completely. So on Sunday we had the summer solstice, Litha. Wheel turn, the longest day has come and gone, and now the days very slowly begin to get shorter. And whilst summer is typically a more energetic time, when the heat really picks up, the sun invites us to slow down. And that is exactly what we're doing with this practice. Let's begin by connecting a little bit of movement with the breath. We're going to bring the arms together, bent at about 90 degrees. And then we're going to inhale, opening the arms out, keeping the elbows bent, so bringing the arms down towards the ground. Exhale, drawing the arms back together. Inhale, stretching the arms overhead. Maybe you keep the elbows together. Maybe you extend the arms, feel into what's right for you. Exhale, arms back in. Inhale, opening out. Exhale together. Inhale overhead. Exhale together. So just continuing to move the arms with your breath. Just bringing a little bit of movement into the shoulders. And then just completing the cycle that you're on. And releasing the arms down. Now from here, we're going to make a very small adjustment to our position. We're simply going to bend the knees out to the sides and bring the soles of the feet together so the edges of the feet are resting on top of the bolster. And then just take a moment to feel into the best place for your hands. Maybe they rest on your body. Maybe they rest out to the sides. Maybe they extend overhead. Just taking a few more breaths here. And then we're going to extend the arms out to the side, so roughly in line with the shoulders. We're going to extend the right leg so that the back of the knee is again supported by the bolster, but then we're going to take the left leg and we're going to extend it out to the side. And then gently turn the head towards the right. And then bringing the head back to center, drawing that left leg in, resting it over the bolster. And then taking the right leg out to the side, turning the head towards the left. Maybe as you rest here, you start to feel your body unwind. And then as we release from here, we're just going to roll onto one side. And then find our way onto all fours. And then once we're here, just start to move into your body. So maybe the eyes are closed and you start to really feel into what might be holding in your body that needs to be released, what might be a little tense that you can gently ease away with movements, and you can move your body in any way that feels good for you. Start to bring those movements to a stop. Just enjoying a few more breaths. Any last movements that you want to make before we come back into a longer hold. And we're going to be moving into Anahatasana, melting heart pose. So you may find that the bolster standing up on the higher setting, that might feel a little intense. If it does, you can drop the blocks down so that it's a bit lower. You might remove them completely. You can have the hands or the wrists resting, or you can be a little bit closer and have the elbows and forearms resting. So again, just make it your own. Find what feels comfortable. And this isn't a yin practice. We are slowing things down. We are holding these positions for a longer time. But if you feel like your body wants to move when you're in any of these positions, then let it move. Let that energy gently move through you. And maybe there's some moments of movement followed by moments of stillness, or vice versa. Just a few more breaths here. Releasing the hands down. As you lift yourself up, we're going to shift the body forwards and rest onto the bolster. So again, you might find that it's a little bit high if the blocks are standing up. You might want to lower it down. Bring the arms over the bolster. adjust yourself if there's anything in the way that makes that uncomfortable. Just come to a position that feels supportive, that feels easeful. Mm. One side. The hands, we're going to press up and draw the hips back, just taking a moment to stretch out the spine in child's pose. So maybe there's a little juicy sway of the hips as you work your way back. And then just let the forehead rest, the heart melt, arms extend, and just soften here. Maybe it feels good to gently roll the forehead
Massaging the third eye. Shifting forwards. Now from here, we're going to come into a yogi squat. So if you're not comfortable coming into this squat position, you're very welcome to stay down in a nice wide kneed position here, and you can just explore some movements. You might choose to hang out in child's pose for a little bit longer. It's entirely up to you. We're just going to come into this squat, finding movement through the hips. And then lifting the hips, bringing the feet together. We're all going to meet in just a soft forward fold, just for a couple of breaths here. Let the upper body dangle. And then inhale, rising up. Exhale, releasing the hands to the heart. And then we're going to take a step forwards back to the top of the mat so that we can again work with our bolster. Bringing the hands together in front of the heart, starting in Tadasana, mountain pose. And then inhale, sending the arms forwards, up and back. Exhale, folding forwards, and then just letting the hands rest on the bolster. Maybe the forearms rest, maybe the backs of the arms rest. Keeping softness in the knees if that feels like a little too much for your hamstrings. And again, maybe there's a really small sway here or any other movements that feel good in this position. Okay, so just starting to soften into the knees a little more. Inhale, rising back up. Exhale, releasing the hands to the heart. And then we're going to step our feet wide. The heels a little bit wider than the toes. Make sure your bolster, or make sure you're in a good position so that you can still work with your bolster. And we're just going to bring the hands onto the hips. Take a breath here, roll the shoulders back and down, lift the heart. And then exhale, folding forwards. Hands can come to rest on the bolster. Maybe the crown of the head rests on the bolster and the hands reach back and hold the backs of the heels or the ankles. And just releasing the hands onto the bolster if they're not already there. Inhale, coming halfway up. Just softening. I'm going to take a breath in, lifting all the way up. And exhale, releasing the hands. And bring our feet together. Then we're going to come into a little variation of sugarcane, which is a lot more accessible than traditional sugarcane. And obviously there are always options. So we're going to come down into a forward fold, resting the hands on the bolster. And we're going to keep our left hand where it is, under the left shoulder. We're going to bend our left leg and bring the heel towards the right buttock. And this may be where you stay, and that is perfectly fine. And even if that feels a little bit too much, hold the leg a little lower down. If you're comfortable here, you can reach back with the right hand, grab a hold of the foot, and then when you've got a hold of the foot, you want to send that left knee up. And keep drawing the foot in towards the buttock. If you're holding the foot, releasing, bringing the foot back down onto the mat, just folding down. And then as you lift the chest back up, right hand remains on the bolster. Right leg lifts, bending the knee, bringing the heel around. And again, if it's available to you, you can take a hold of the foot. And if you've got a hold of the foot, you can start to lift that right knee. And releasing the foot if you're holding, setting the foot back down, folding down. And then from here, bend the knees as much as you need to bring the hands down. And then we're going to step back, coming to all fours. And then we're going to move into pigeon pose. So bringing any knee forwards. Don't have to think about left or right here. Just know that we're going to do both legs. So start with whatever side you want to. And then we're going to just lean into that bolster once again. So maybe you come up and you rest on the elbows. And if pigeon pose is a bit tricky, we're going to just find our deer pose. So bending the legs in a 90-90 position. And we're going to be releasing from here in just a couple of breaths. But as we do, we're just going to come and roll ourselves up and then come to sit back, leaning back into the hands. We're going to bring the feet nice and wide and then let the knees sway from side to side. Giving the hips a little reset before we move on to the other side. As we come back facing the bolster, we're just going to switch the legs over. So bringing the other knee forwards or finding deer pose, whatever you're working with today. And just softening forwards. Couple more breaths here. And again, we're going to release in the same way. So just drawing that back leg in, rolling back on to the hips, feet wide, leaning back into the hands, and then swaying the knees from side to side. Turning back to face the bolster, the blocks. We're going to move the blocks out of the way. We're going to bring the bolster in a little bit closer. And then we're going to bring the legs back over. Lift the hips on top and then roll back. And it's quite lovely down here. And you've got a couple of options. You can work with a nice supported bridge pose. If you want a deeper full stretch across the front of the body, you might extend the legs and the arms and find pontoon pose. If you're feeling a little bit of inversion energy, you've got the option to extend the legs up towards the ceiling. So again, just listen. What does your body need right now? Again, you don't have to stay in complete stillness here. If it feels like some movement would be nice. If you've got your legs extended, a little circle of the legs or a sway backwards and forwards is going to massage the lower back and the sacrum. If the legs are extended, just bringing them in towards the chest. And then lowering the feet back down. We're going to just come up onto the balls of the feet, and with the hands, just push the bolster away. And then you can use the feet to roll it a little bit further down the mat. And then we're going to bring both feet on top of the bolster, knees together, arms spread wide. And then we're going to breathe in here. And as we breathe out, just let the knees come down to the right, the head turn to the left. Then breathing everything back to center. Exhale, knees to the left, gaze to the right. And then breathing everything back to center. And it may well be that you're warm enough and you're quite comfortable to just extend the legs here and find yourself a nice supported Shavasana. But if you would like to grab a blanket, grab your eye masks, your cushions, whatever else you're using to get nice and comfortable. Mhm. And then just settle into a position that really allows your body to soften and feel supported.
Becoming aware of the steady rhythm of your breath. Knowing with your whole heart that there is just this moment, just this breath, this sacred pause. And there is absolutely nowhere else for you to be right now. Feel your body becoming more at ease with every breath that leaves your body. And then begin to draw your awareness inward, looking up to your mind's eye. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a sunlit meadow. The longest day has passed. The wheel of the year has turned once more, bringing you this moment of fullness. Above you, the blue sky stretches endlessly, and warm golden sunlight spills across the land. It warms your skin, your heart, your bones. Feel the earth beneath your feet, ancient, steady, unwavering. Feel the warmth of the sun, abundance, life-giving. And between earth and sky, there is you. Take a slow breath in and recognize that you have traveled far to arrive here. Think back to the darkness of winter, to the dreams, hopes, and intentions that rested quietly beneath the surface, like seeds sleeping beneath frozen ground. Much was unseen. Much was still becoming. Now, here in the energy of Litha, pause to notice what has grown. Notice the ways you've stretched beyond old limitations. Notice the challenges you have survived. Notice the wisdom you have gathered. Notice the strength that has quietly taken roots within you. And you may not be exactly where you imagined you would be. Yet here you are, breathing, growing. And that is worthy of honor. As you stand within this meadow, imagine the sunlight becoming brighter around you. Not in a harsh or overwhelming way, but loving, illuminating. This light asks nothing of you. It simply reveals. Allow it to shine upon every part of you. The parts you celebrate, the parts you question, the parts still healing, the parts still learning, the parts that feel strong, and the parts that feel tender. Nothing is hidden from this light. Nothing is rejected. Everything just belongs. Feel yourself standing fully in your own truth, with nothing to prove and nowhere to hide. For a moment, release the need to be more. Release the pressure to have everything figured out. Release the belief that your worth depends on how much you achieve, produce, or give. Remember, nature doesn't apologize for her abundance. The rose doesn't question whether it deserves to bloom. The mighty oak doesn't shrink itself to make others comfortable. The sun doesn't dim its lights. Neither should you. Take a long, slow breath. Allow yourself to receive that truth. You were never meant to spend your life making yourself smaller. You were never meant to hide your gifts. You certainly were never meant to apologize for taking up space. You were born to shine in your own unique way. As the sunlight continues to surround you, imagine it filling your heart with warm golden glow. Replenishing your inner sun, the flame that remains steady even when life feels uncertain. The lights that cannot be extinguished by difficult seasons. The wisdom that has guided countless women before you. If it feels comfortable, you might like to rest a hand over your heart. Feel that warmth. Feel that light. Feel that quiet knowing and ask yourself, what am I ready to celebrate? What have I forgotten to acknowledge? Where am I being called to shine more brightly? Allow whatever arises to simply be witnessed. No judgments, no fixing, just awareness. And as the sun begins its slow journey towards the horizon, remember that Litha is not only a celebration of fullness, it is also a sacred turning point. The wheel keeps turning. The days will slowly shorten. The seasons will continue their dance. Everything changes. Everything moves. Everything evolves. And so, as you stand in this moment of abundance, consider what you wish to carry forward into the second half of the year. What's flourishing that deserves your energy? What dreams are asking for your devotion? What wisdom do you wish to nurture? And perhaps, just as importantly, what are you ready to release? What has completed its purpose? What no longer needs your attention? Offer it to the setting sun. Let it be carried away on the warm summer breeze. You don't need to carry everything forward. Trust that. Feel the light around you softening, becoming gentler, quieter. The meadow remains golden. The earth remains steady. Your inner sun continues to glow. And before you leave this sacred place, take a moment to thank yourself for showing up, for continuing, for growing, for trying again when things felt hard, for every step that brought you here. You are part of nature's great cycle. You aren't behind. You aren't late. You are unfolding in your own perfect time. Take one final breath of golden summer light into your heart. And as you exhale, let that light spread through every cell of your body, carrying warmth, carrying gratitude, carrying remembrance. The sun shines above you. The earth holds you below, and the light lives within you. When you're ready, begin to deepen your breath. Gently returning your awareness to the room around you. Noticing the sounds in the distance, nearby. And as you return, carry the blessing of Litha with you, not only for today, but for every step that follows. Starting to wriggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe rolling the head from side to side. And taking any stretch that feels good in your body right now. In your own time, just drawing the knees in towards you, taking a little rock before rolling onto one side. And gently finding your way back to seated. As we close our practice, taking a breath. And as we breathe out, sending peace to all, light to all, love to all. Bowing to the earth, to yourself, to each other. Om Shanti. Namaste.